Okay, welcome to this episode of the Hero's Journey Collaboration Mastermind. And today, Ernesto Verdugo and myself, Frank Mulcahy, are going to take you behind the scenes. Everybody always asks as we roll out the Hero's Journey Collaboration Mastermind and tremendous amount of success with all of the students. They always ask, how did this come to concept? How did you know the needs and to fill in the blanks going into the new digital economy and the post-COVID and pandemic-proof the businesses? And so today, folks, a special treat. We're going behind the scenes to tell you exactly how you can use the Hero's Journey Collaboration Mastermind to bring your business into the new virtual digital age. Welcome to the call, Ernesto. I'm excited to do this session that we've been talking about.
Absolutely. Let's get it done. Well, I think it will be very interesting for you guys to know that right now, Frank and I are going live on YouTube Live. I am in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, and Frank right now it's in Houston. So it is, as you can see right now, it is 7 o'clock in the evening, Houston time. It is 6 o'clock in the evening in Amsterdam. So the question is, how are we doing this? How are we doing this? If you think about it, in the real world, I am actually sleeping, but I am actually going live with you, and you're seeing me right now live. How is this happening? Well, this is actually part of the lessons that we want to teach you, because you could be live at any moment, at any time in the world if you know how to do it. You can change the different scenery. You can change absolutely everything. In television, there's one term that is called as live, and right now we are as live. So we're actually recording as live. But actually, if we would not have told you, you will have absolutely no idea what is going on. And it is one of those things that can help you tremendously doing business around the world. Because as I told Frank one day, the moment that you go international, what happens, Frank?
Your whole world changes back home. That's embedded in my brain forever. When you said that, can I explain what I meant by that, Ernesto?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You and I, when we first met, I didn't know you, you didn't know me. You were from Amsterdam, I was from Houston, and you told me I could go out and be an international speaker. And I said, yeah, but why? I do all my business here in Texas and maybe Arkansas and Kansas. You said, yeah, but you could go international. And I thought about that, but I was always afraid. I didn't know anybody international per se. And I didn't know if my material was really good enough, to be honest with you. I had that, and we talk about the imposter syndrome. We don't realize the value we have inside till somebody brings it. But I thought of the good Lord Jesus when you told me that, believe it or not, and how when he first started talking, nobody wanted to listen to the son of a carpenter. But he went to the hillside and he had 12, and they started hearing the story. And when he came back to the village, everybody started listening to the story because it came from afar. He came with that new persona, that new image. And when you said that, this went through my mind so quickly. And then I said, wow, that makes sense. And then I said to you, but how do I do it? It was so overwhelming. And then you took me on the hero's journey.
Yeah, it's right. So it's very important that you guys need to, if you're new here, I know that some of you have been already with us for a while, and that's great. But I think also this behind the scenes session is going to be very interesting for you so that you can see, because the important thing is that you see the journey, and that's why it's a journey. It's not a training, or it's not a course. It is a journey of self-discovery. It's a journey of growth. It's a journey of understanding that you have to go through several different steps in order for you to grow. And I tell you, from experience, people are stuck in their little worlds, and this is exactly what happened to many people. I mean, right now, for me here in Europe, I come from a country which is this size. I mean, you can cross the Netherlands from side to side in 3 hours. Frank drives 5 hours in Texas on a regular basis, and he doesn't even cross a third of the states. Of the state, sorry. I mean, if you would like to cross Texas from side to side, is possibly a 10-hour drive. So you can more or less get the importance of this. And now, why am I telling you this? Because what happens is when you are from a very small country, you have no option, but you have to learn other languages, because of course we are surrounded by a number of different countries that have a number of different languages. And if we don't learn languages, then of course we have an issue. So obviously, I mean, here in the Netherlands, the average person speaks 3 to 4 languages. That's the average person. Now in the United States and in England and in Australia, obviously that doesn't really happen, because of course everybody is the countries are vast, and English is the most known language around the world. But same thing happens also with travel. With travel, there's many people in the United States that ever leave their county, that they don't have a passport. So right now, I do not know where you are right now, but both of us, we're going to be giving you a perspective that I think it's going to be very interesting, because, if you think of the possibilities of doing business where you're doing business, that's fine. But you know what? There's an entire universe outside of wherever you are. And if you learn to embrace all the stuff that you're going to be learning with us, you're going to be able to, widen your horizons, because right now in the digital world, it doesn't matter. As I was saying, I don't live normally. I used to live all the time here in the Netherlands. Right now, I am actually closing shop in the Netherlands, and then I'm going to be most of my time I'm going to be in the States. But it is for me. It doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter if I am in one country, in the other. Doesn't matter where you throw me. I feel like a complete natural, because I came to understand exactly the importance of, being a citizen of the world, understanding that the opportunities are not only where you're at, but also abroad. And that's also part of the journey.
Well, and actually, Ernesto, what you did for me, yes, I was speaking in Houston and Arkansas and Oklahoma, but as you took me to having a profile, being that I'm seen in the digital world, which I wasn't, it took me not only to faraway places, which went clear across the world, from the little stages to the big stages, but it also took me and gave me inside the ability, oh my God, I can do this and I can do that and I can do this. And I've opened up not only additional opportunity for my core business, but I was able to, Ernesto, grab what you just said. And I think it's important. I want to repeat it for the people that may not have embraced it, is that there's a whole world of opportunity out there for what we currently do, or even better, what you may potentially do, because as you start to go through the Heroes Collaboration Mastermind and you start to grow and your confidence grows, your creative mind grows. I experienced that, Ernesto. So when you said your whole world changes, it wasn't just what I was doing at the time, but it's allowed me to, even at my age, and as of this recording, I'm 71. But I feel like I'm 41 when it comes to my professional image, because I'm way ahead of where I've ever been. And it's all thanks to what I learned by actually going through the Hero's Journey Collaboration Mastermind. So folks, buckle up, because you could be in for the ride and accomplish things that may at one time just been a little memory, but somebody unfortunately told us, well, you can't do that, and you're not smart enough, and you're not rich enough, and you don't have the education, and you don't have the support, and the marketplace will never accept you. Dismiss it all, folks. Clear the slate.
Yeah.
And let's open it up.
Yeah, I think you actually just had a perfect lead for what I wanted to talk about right now, because what happens is, you know, the self-belief and the self-limiting beliefs is exactly what really gets you stuck in where you are. And it doesn't matter how successful. I mean, there's a lot of very successful people that have a lot of limiting beliefs. And I'm going to tell you the story of one of my recent clients, which is an incredibly successful man. And right now, because of, I cannot really go into why he actually had to go through this transformation, but he had to go through this transformation. And right now, I mean, after he has gone through this transformation, he said, oh my God, what you have done has completely revolutionized my way of thinking. This gentleman that I will introduce you in a second, I'm going to take you to his to the website that we are just about to provide for him. First of all, he's an award-winning civil engineer. He has all sorts of accolades. I mean, he has all sorts of prizes. But the funny thing is, in construction, in building, most people never pay attention to the builder. They pay attention to the architect. The architect is the one that actually gets the prizes. So after having a conversation with him, he was just saying, well, you know, I am just a builder. I am just somebody that has built some buildings. And yes, of course, I mean, the guy is extremely successful, very wealthy. I mean, the guy has done incredible, but his self-esteem and his self-belief is completely non-existent, because, of course, nobody pays attention to the builder. They only pay attention to the architects. So let me ask you what the big question is, and I'm sure Frank will know the answer for this. So I'm going to use Frank as if he will be you guys. What's the big difference between the architects and the builders? You can tell me, Frank.
The architect came up with the plan, came up with the format, but the builder implemented it. The builder carried it through.
But there's one extra thing that you're missing. Very, 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 very important, which actually is very linked towards the what we are doing in the Hero's Journey Mastermind. Frank didn't know the answer, as you can see here. I mean, I'm actually getting him on the spot. So what do you think that was? Why do the architects? I mean, you will see a magazine that is called Architectural Digest, right? You will not see a company that's called Builders Digest, right? So what happens? Architects are also into branding. They're also into design. They're also into having their pictures taken with the buildings that they didn't build. They only had a piece of paper where they actually created the whole thing, and they were the ones that were directing. But the guys that really put the building together, those builders are never put they're never put into perspective. So now there's this guy that I was talking to you about that needs to be branded, and it took about 4 or 5 months to actually get him branded. I think I started talking to him about 4 months ago. And right now, he's almost fully branded. I'm going to show you his website. But what happened? He had a need. He understood, I need to be branded. It's urgent that I need to be branded. Now, what happens is that many people that join over here, they're saying, oh, yeah, that might be nice if I actually get my branding. That might be really cool if I actually get it done. But they don't believe that they can get it done. So the reason why I am actually bringing this up is because somebody that really got it and said, oh my goodness, I really needed to get branded, after having a conversation, talking to him, and of course, having not having it not clear for him that he was the one that accomplished all these things. I said, okay, well, what have you built? Well, he rebuilt an entire city after an earthquake in Mexico, an entire city. For that, the architects were mentioned in the New York Times. They were mentioned, and you have no idea how much branding he didn't have. Now, just think about this as yourself. Possibly you were in the military. How many people have we had in this Hero's Journey Mastermind that they have been colonels, that they have been sergeant majors, they have got a number of accomplishments that they had never documented, for crying out loud. This is the difference between somebody which is understanding what they are doing, like an architect. An architect documents with pictures, documents with blueprints, documents with maps, with all these terrain, different studies that they have done. They have everything documented because their entire life depends on it. But the builder doesn't do it. I mean, I'm not sure, Frank, if actually this is an interesting metaphor, but I think for me has been incredibly powerful to make the distinction between somebody that acts fast and somebody that gets stuck, like we have seen so many people.
It's a great metaphor. And the reason it's a great metaphor is because it's easy now for the builder to take their past accomplishments, like the military gentlemen and ladies that we're talking about. And we have countless ones that, and I'm so proud to serve along with them. I did in when I was in the Army, and I do it now. But to learn these people that actually rose to the ranks, whether it's NCO or officers, they did it because of their accomplishments. Yet the general is the one that gets on newscast. The general is the one that gets the big book deals and the movie deals. You know, they remember Eisenhower and Patton and Marshall, but they don't remember the men and the women that made it happen. That's why I went to that with the answers. They made it happen. But it's like myself with everything I've done. But you made it that I took my past accomplishments. When you first put me through, you said, well, Frank, how many times have you done speaking engagements? I said, I don't know. I don't have track. And you gave me assignments to go back and recreate it. And it was like over 7,500. And then you said, well, how many cities? I said, a bunch. Well, they can look at my map. I mean, I dominate all over. And now that we've gone virtual, it's more than doubled whatever I've done in the 20-year period before that. Yeah. And so the builder, and whatever it is you're building, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're doing in the past and where you're going in the future, it's part of the story. It's part of the story, and it's easy. It's easy to brand if you know how, Ernesto.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me just share my screen so that they can see what I am talking about. And the name of this gentleman is Anwar Atala. He's from Lebanese descent. He's Mexican, but from Lebanese descent. He's a civil engineer and a land developer, as you can see it here. We have the opportunity to have him in Houston. He had his pictures taken. His pictures taken. He didn't have anything. We got his pictures taken. We are just about to get his show reel over here. He had never had some of these facts in numbers. Look at this. This is incredible. 1,559 projects, 125 clients, because of course those clients are humongous. But look at this one. This is incredibly impressive. 27,890,000 individuals that have benefited of his individual construction projects. It's just insane. So now he had all of this, and I had to actually go little by little with everything. He had never documented. Here are his civil engineering projects. I mean, we're still changing some things. As you can see, we still have the lorem ipsum logo there because we're just getting it changed. But he has done from water parks to he created a theme park for underprivileged kids and handicapped children in Mexico, which is like a little bit like a Disneyland, and nothing has ever been documented. So the first thing that you need to understand is that we are going to tell a story about your life. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go back and try to understand all the stuff that you have done. Now, this guy, once again, he had a lot of accomplishments, but he had never documented any of these accomplishments. I mean, he has done all sorts of water parks, which are actually, many of these water parks have been the base for a lot of the projects that have been going also in the States in Wet and Wild. He has done wellness centers. He has done sports complexes. He has done all sorts of reconstruction, all sorts of things that he has never documented. And this was done in a very, very short period of time. So now the important thing about this is, more than anything, that you understand that there's going to be a big difference. You can either doubt that you have a story of accomplishments, or you say, well, I have a lot of accomplishments that I have not really thought about, and this is what we're going to be bringing. So on the hero's journey, what we are going to do is, we are not going to be the heroes ourselves. I mean, Frank is not the hero. I am not the hero. I am going to be the mentor. Frank is going to be the mentor. So possibly you can explain to them in movie-wise, how does this work for all of them?
Yeah, we've all seen it, Ernesto, with all the major Hollywood blockbuster films. They all carry the same theme. And I think it was Joseph Campbell, when first came out with A Man of 1,000 Faces, I think was the book, like in the 58 or 57.
57.
And what he found was, folks, is that through recorded history, everybody has always loved and engaged in the story of somebody that had to overcome something in their life. And, an example would be Star Wars. No question, a mega success financially, Star Wars, and episode after episode. But it all starts with the same thing. Young Luke was an orphan, and he had to go out. He lived with his grandparents, and he went off into the wilderness, and he had to overcome fears and doubts, and what was he going to do, and how was he going to. And then he met a mentor, or a consigliere, or an advocate, or somebody that could help to guide him, somebody that could help bring in what he did not have. And they always throw in a villain, which is the opposition. And again, it can be countless. And in this case, it happened to be Darth Vader. And in The Advocate, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Yoda. He had a couple of them. And then they always throw in a little bit of a love theme. Usually they throw in a woman and a male. And amazingly, the coach or the mentor just guides and leads and encourages. The hero is the person that's going on the journey. It's the business owner. It's the person you're consulting with. If you're a coach or an advocate, if you're a builder, you're leading people that has the idea to reduce it to paper, where the professional can then build out the dimensions. And then they're able to run off into the sunset. In the case of Star Wars, where they overcame the evil empire and they went off. But here's the key, Ernesto. In the hero's journey, that person is now ready for their next journey, their next challenge, their next endeavor, but they have a new set of skills. And it could be Indiana Jones, it could be any of the major blockbuster movies all do it. Now, the downside is, Ernesto, I now figure out movies before they're halfway through, because we know that Hollywood, it sells. It sells. We just get through watching some of the Maverick, with Tom Cruise. It's estimated it's going to take in $1 billion. Folks, the story is the same as it was 20 plus years ago. It's just updated more today. And more people are going because they want to hear your story. They want to hear it. You are the hero. You're the hero, not the person that's guiding you. You're the hero because you overcame the challenges and went on to new adventures.
Yeah, and it's time to now guide you through the process of how we are going to get this done. So possibly you have already gone into the membership site of what we have there. Possibly you already know that we have I mean, actually, I'm taking you behind the scenes on the platform that we're using. The platform that we're using is called GuruCan. And right now, these are the different courses that we have. So if you actually go into the app, you will be able to see that we have the Welcome to the Mastermind, which is just a welcome video that we have there. We have right now the Grow and Protect Welcome module, which is in all the. How many? Can you just briefly, Frank, explain for all the new people? I mean, I know you guys. Some of you have already been there with us, but once again, we are doing this. We're doing this this session for people which are just joining right now. So you can possibly, in very briefly, Frank, tell them how many chambers of commerce and what is actually going on with Grow and Protect.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, the acceptance in the marketplace is incredible. You know, when you and I first rolled out the Grow and Protect, and I told you we'd probably have 20 or 30, 40 chambers the first year. We're not even through the first year, and we're over 227 that we're in the stages of rolling out and developing their websites and putting them on our monthly collaboration call and our monthly webinars that we do. But more excitingly, Ernesto, and I want to go back to what we said earlier, is we actually have people participating in Malta, in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, in London. We have them in Sri Lanka. I was talking to them again today, and they're going through real difficult financial times in Sri Lanka. And so they're looking at it. And we've got people in Dubai and Mumbai, and Saudi Arabia is now looking at it. So folks, when Ernesto said your whole world changes, the whole world becomes your background, is what it becomes.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is basically what we're working on. But what I think it's super important is that you guys spend some time watching the modules, because, you know, we have been creating a huge amount of modules. So every time that we are having one of these live sessions, normally we do them in Zoom. Sometimes we do them in YouTube Live, because either I am traveling or Frank is traveling. We do it as live. Most people now, of course, you know, one of those secrets that you could figure out if you would have seen the virtual communication strategies. Right now, it's not about doing webinars. Webinars are old. It's old-fashioned to talk about webinars. Right now, I mean, I was just talking to Andy Harrington. Andy is a good friend of mine. He's one of the #1 presenter and you know, presentations and speaker trainer in Europe. He lives in the UK, and he was saying that right now, the last time that Tony Robbins did his unlimited power within UPW with session, he had 24,500 people watching all over the place. And it was not because he was presenting on a webinar. He was actually presenting through virtual communication strategies, as we are doing it right now. I mean, you might be wondering, how are we doing this? How are we actually getting the, you know, I mean, so clear. I mean, right now you can see I have, of course, a green screen behind me. Frank, he doesn't even have a green screen, but also looks like if he's in a very nice office. How is it that we are doing these kind of things? How is it that we are streaming, like if we are live right now? Again, right now, as you are watching this, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning for me, and I am completely asleep. But you are actually watching me right now as live. You have no idea how this is happening. So if you are curious about how that works, you have to go see this virtual communication strategies video, which is, I think, one of those, not video, it's a whole training session, which is incredibly important, because you need to understand the new way of doing virtual work. Now, that is just the first module. The next thing that you also need to work is you need to work out your LinkedIn profile. I mean, if you go see Frank's LinkedIn profile, or if you go see my LinkedIn profile, that itself even if we don't have anything else. That itself is pretty impressive. I mean, and Frank, how much trouble we have had. I mean, when we actually got started with this mastermind, people didn't really believe that just a LinkedIn profile would do miracles in their life.
Right.
Until today, until a little bit of a year after or whatever, suddenly people are realizing, oh my God, LinkedIn, it's the most important thing that I should be working on, and they don't do it.
And it's the easiest thing to really do, Ernesto, especially if they go in and look at I think there's 7 modules in the LinkedIn profile. But folks, it's not just about posting something. It's about the psychology behind the posting. It's about gathering the information and the messaging. And and I'm not going to let it out of the bag here because they got to go in and watch the video. But in there, you actually give a secret, Ernesto, on how they can reach out to approximately, I think it was 12,460 some odd people in a matter of less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In that strategy. So if you're sitting out there right now and watching this behind the scenes workshop we're doing for you, imagine your LinkedIn's only got 200 or 300 connections. And all of a sudden, over the next year, you could go to 10, 12, 14,000 connections. And then you have the ability to post relevant, timely information. You become the expert. You become the go-to person. And that's just lesson number 2, Ernesto. That's just lesson 2.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely just lesson 2. Then we have here
and that's okay because we're behind the scenes, so we're still working while we're talking to you guys.
Yeah, that is correct. Right now I am in my apartment in Amsterdam, which is a very small apartment, and my beautiful wife just came in to ask me for cash. She has to pay something. So anyway, yeah, she's doing fine. Those are the things that happens also when we are actually doing live sessions. But anyway, over here, as you can see, well, we have 2 versions of most of the trainings. Why? Because one is for you guys, which are in the mastermind. The other one is for the ones which are the people which are just getting acquainted with what we're doing. Obviously, the ones that you have that you have go into a bigger depth. We have here the customer journey, which is the customer experience, which is also great. Teaching you the magic of IKEA. We actually went, Frank and I, we went to IKEA to record this, how Disney does this. It's great. I mean, the information that you have there, it's enough to get you started growing your business completely again.
It actually teaches them, Ernesto, how to get their current customers to engage more and spend more. And it's a fascinating session.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. The client acquisition strategies, basically how to attract more clients. I mean, it is just, as you can see, we have also 2 versions. Now, this one is a very important one, the personal branding, because here is where you're going to start really understanding how the whole thing works. We're going to be talking about attraction marketing, how to become more attractive so that you don't have to be worried about people, you getting into people. I mean, you are the one, but actually getting people to call you and to connect with you. We have also this one, which I think is one of my favorite lessons, tactical optics, because everything is optics. I mean, everything we have done with Mr. Atala, everything is about optics. Every single thing is about optics. Now he looks like $1 million. And if you understand the lessons that we're actually showing here in the optics, you're going to really understand, oh my goodness, this is exactly what they are doing. And you know what? The great thing is not as regular as I would like because of what has happened in the pandemic. But previously, I mean, we used to have 3 to 4 sessions per year. Hopefully, as soon as we start moving out of all these, everything starts becoming regular again, we're going to have these sessions more regular, where you will be able to create a lot of the optics that you require.
Yeah. So again, let me recap here for a second, if I could. And so We're talking about behind the scenes with the Hero's Journey Collaboration Mastermind, guys. And that's, I'd like to just go back just a second to February 15, 2020, on how this all came about. Folks, we said at the beginning that Ernesto told me my world would change. My whole world would change. That was the understatement. On February 15 of 2020, I was actually the opening keynote speaker for the World HRD 2020 Congress. And there's folks from all over the world at this Congress. And Ernesto and I, as we're in Mumbai with a bunch of the other speakers that are part of the family and the collaboration that help everybody, we became very, very aware that COVID was only 1,000 miles away in Wuhan, China. And we said, my God, our whole world is going to change. This traveling international and having the big gigs and having the growth, it's going to come to a grinding halt. And Ernesto, within, I think, either 48 or 72 hours, when we came back from the trip to the Middle East, it was now about March 12th, when Donald Trump closed the borders and the world shut down. Ernesto, I think it took you, it was a 48 or 72 hours to create the toilet paper diaries?
Yeah, it was 48 hours.
And why did you do that?
Because I knew that I knew that it was going to be we were going to be entering into the digital world, which obviously goes without being said that you are not anymore who you say you are. You are who Google says you are. Right. If people cannot find you on I remember, I mean, when we were there, Frank was starting to understand the process. And he was actually asking people, well, please subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, because I need 100 subscribers so that I will be able to call my channel Frank Mulcahy. And I mean, the growth that you have on that channel in 1 year was insane. And, it's just a matter of understanding. I mean, you need to understand there's several things that need to be understood. I mean, we have here YouTube for beginners, YouTube mastery, pocket filmmaking, which I think it's also incredibly valuable. Right now, I mean, every time I see people which have worked with us, it's very, very interesting how you see them all the time creating what we call B-roll, which is videos with their camera, because right now all you need to record beautiful footage for your own branding, it's basically your phone. So I mean, look, guys, I want you to see this so that you say, well, and I'm going to tell you why we're actually showing you this, because the problem is that Frank and we have spent a ton of time developing all this content. And there's, years. There's an MBA, there's a PhD on marketing, on personal marketing inside of this session. Everything is done in a very digestible manner so that you will be able to actually access all the information. Now, let me tell you what the challenge is. Because, of course, there's a ton of information there. A lot of people get overwhelmed and then they don't start doing anything. So try to do a little by little. And this is one of those things that we learned, because also Frank and we always try to be avant-garde. We always try to be a little bit ahead of the curve. And one of the things that at the very beginning of the pandemic, everybody was transitioning from a membership site into a learning management system. So we created a learning management system, which I think it's still very valuable. However, if you want to have an online community, you have to evolve into an online community. And an online community, unfortunately, you cannot be depending on Mark Zuckerberg's whims and craziness to do this kind of stuff. So we used to have a Facebook group. Now we're not doing it. So now what's going to be the next evolution on what we're going to be doing? And I'm going to be showing this to you. And this is one example. Right now we are working on it. We're going to have this is our community. It's called Heartbeat. but this is a community that I created in a software that is called Heartbeat, that you're going to have it there. You can see it here. It's going to be Rainmaker Nation. The name of the community is, because I want to have many communities, is All Star Nation. I am a big baseball fan, and I love when you actually, I mean, it's a pity that it's only one time a year in July, in the middle of July, when they basically split the season in two, and they get from the National League all the stars, and all the national, and all the, from the American League all the stars. And I believe that I know so many people around the world, and Frank knows so many people, and getting them together into a community, that's why it's going to be the All-Star Nation. But the name of our community, which you can see it here, it just has not been developed yet. It's going to be Rainmaker Nation. Possibly, Frank, you can tell them a little bit about what that is.
Well, a rainmaker is the person that makes it happen. They're the ones that, in corporate America, they're the ones that bring the money in to sustain the organization. They somehow not only have the skills, but they have the utmost clarity of their vision, Ernesto, I think is what's important.
Yeah.
Because everybody always said to me, how can you go into a brand new field and you just go into the top 5% every time you've done it? It's not me. It's that I absorbed the skills that many people have taught me over the last 50 plus years and adapted them to what we need today. And with that, I have to add one thing, Ernesto. I don't want people to think they have to be technically adept to be able to do this.
Very good point.
One of the greatest things, folks, is I am still technically challenged. I will always be technically challenged. But there are, if we go back to the architect and we go back to the builders, we have the people that can come in with the vision, come in with the clarity. They know what needs to be delivered. And then we engage the people that can help to finish where we may not know how to program. We may not know how to edit. We don't have to. It's all in the learning management system that you now have access to.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now, I mean, one of the things that a learning management system like we have here in the back in Gurukan, well, we still have it, and that's why at least the Hero's Journey Mastermind we want to move it here into Heartbeat, is because we have the possibility of interacting. So here, for example, I can see, and this is also something very interesting that I want to show you. Frank and I, in the other platform, we also have this possibility. We can actually see, for example, if you saw this lesson and you only consume 33% of it, and then of course there's a lot of people that have not done anything. They just signed up, but they have not done anything. However, this other person, it's 100%. Now I know this person. And I know that she's progressing tremendously. Why? Because she's consuming the content. However, this guy, I mean, he just doesn't consume anything. And I mean, I can guarantee you in a month from now or 2 months from now, he's going to be in the exact same place. So I know who's actually consuming the stuff and who's actually progressing. And for example, I see some people that get started with the stuff and some people that don't get started with the stuff. And this is important for us to keep an eye. But what I think is also very nice about this platform is that if I would like to create just, a regular lesson, let's say that I just came up with something interesting, I can just add it up here. Or we can have also all sorts of resources that we can add there, without having any issues. We can have courses. So all the courses here, I have all the different courses, the different things that I have done. One of the biggest frustrations that we were having in the past was, the fact that here in Europe, it's a complete different world. This is one of those things that you also need to learn. WhatsApp is the way that you communicate around the world. In the United States, the reason why they don't use WhatsApp, it is because SMS messaging, the regular text messaging that you're having. It's very inexpensive, while over here in Europe and in other countries it's very expensive. That's why WhatsApp has not taken over the market. But with this software, what is great is that I can send messages, and you can see it. You can send me messages. So it's very similar to Facebook. However, we are not paying homage to Mark Zuckerberg.
Ernesto, this is absolutely fascinating. We could go on forever, but what I'd like to do is to, because obviously we have to watch the clock for the people that are watching this.
Yeah.
But in a recap, Ernesto, would it be safe to assume that technology is going to not just continue to grow, but it's going to accelerate that continuance into warp speed?
100%, and I think with this will be a perfect way to end this behind the scenes tour. I want to take you into one of our groups that we have in WhatsApp. Okay, so we have here. This we got today from somebody called Brenda Maguire. She was telling us, well, I'm going to be actually speaking on this stage, and that was because of all the Wish Me Luck speaking this beautiful historic stage tonight, showing basically we have been implementing what you guys have been telling us. We have this lady from Rafia from Singapore, which is also sharing. She also has her book published. We also have, she's also been posting and all the stuff that she has been doing. We have also this gentleman. You possibly recognize that picture. That's not Frank, but that's Jeff. That's Jeff Smith. That's one of the best students that I have had. I am here now there in Chicago. So these are the kind of things that you have when you have a community where everybody's sharing knowledge, where everybody's actually getting stuff done. Here we have Christian Farioli, which I guess at some point you will also understand. He was also talking in a huge event. We have Dave Crane, which possibly you will see also somewhere, somehow here. But you see, this is the kind of thing that it's important that we have. In a mastermind, it's not about coming to see Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. I mean, that's just the moment that suddenly everything has evolved is when everybody starts sharing their successes. And sadly, through the learning management system, we were not able to share those successes, but we're going to be able to do that in the very near future.
And the greatest thing, Ernesto, is those people that you just highlighted. For instance, Brenda is from Iowa, and I'll never forget when we were in the waterfront in Dubai, and this lady come over to me. I'm just enjoying the harbor with a cup of coffee. Oh, you're Frank? I said, I am. And I was embarrassed. I didn't know who it was. And she's like ultra successful, traveling around advocating women and all that. But she's such a great person that I learned so much from. And now what Ernesto's saying is with the WhatsApp and Rafia, is also an incredible young gal, and to see her growth, the growth that she's had. And then I noticed in there that I think it was the Brigadier from India. He was trying to launch his YouTube, and he was doing like I did a couple of years ago, trying to get his first 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
So you got to have 100 subscribers in order to get your branded name, youtube.com/Mary Smith. And so in the community, we can help each other. In the community, when you want to grow your LinkedIn, you can help each other. It's that old tribal. And that's why we're so excited to share with you behind the scenes for what Ernesto and I have been really working on the last You're incredible. But it goes all the way back to when he first started speaking American, speaking Dubai, and speaking Spain, and speaking Oman. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Ernesto, you're the 247th most traveled person in the world. Think of the experiences you can get from him. The experiences for myself, being an entrepreneur businessman for almost 50 years, well, 49 years since I got out of the Army. The wealth of the community that we bring to you, embrace it, support it, because the more that you pour into somebody else, the more they pour into you. So we're hopeful that this little session of behind the scenes has been helpful. And folks, it's very easy to find Ernesto or to find myself. You just Google us. And we're always welcome. You can book a 15-minute strategy call with us. We're here to help assure you with your success. Ernesto, you want to close it out?
Yeah, no, I really hope that you guys take it seriously, that you really start right now, even if you don't see it. I mean, actually, I wanted to mention this because I think it's really amazing. Also, Chantel, I just saw on her, she is traveling right now. She's traveling to speak in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I mean, she really also has taken it beyond scopes, because of course everybody has different interests. I have had the same thing. I mean, possibly for her is Africa, possibly for you might be Europe, possibly for you will be all the different places. But you know what? The important thing is open your mind to the possibility of being mentored into growing a global brand, because this is exactly what you're going to be getting with us.
Well said. I mean, it can't be any better. So back to what you told me, Ernesto, once you start to speak international, what happens?
Yeah, your life will change.
The whole world is
180%.
And the caveat is that you introduced me to our good friend Dave Crane, who's just an incredible person. He has spoken to how many people internationally?
Yeah, well, he's billions at a time. I mean, he's one of the few people that I know that has been in front of a billion people watching him at once.
and his LinkedIn alone has got 40,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And to be able to learn from these kind of people in our community that we bring in as guest speakers and trainers and support, but then they become part of your family. You start to learn from their successes. So with the busy noises out there, folks, there's a lot of places you can get help. There's a lot of places you can get information. But how do you sort through the busy noise and get the information that you need? And that's from people that have done it. Never take advice from somebody that hasn't done it. So we welcome you to the Hero's Journey Collaboration Mastermind, and love to see your success. And we'll see you on the next call.
Absolutely. Make sure right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, to leave us a comment. Make sure to leave us a like. Make sure to subscribe to Frank's channel, because of course this is going to be on Frank's channel. And we'll see you on the next call.